Alright, guys. Well, as you keeping score, yes, we are technically back on the street, but we're in a better situation because we still can call this place legally home as far as the address is concerned. And we can still come in and, like for the weekend, stay over, clean up, eat, get stuff done. Unfortunately, the state of Texas wants $65 for a new birth certificate, so unless I can somehow unearth the one I've got already, I think it might still be back in Denver, and that's going to be before I can get a Florida license and probably a few other things. But things are proceeding carefully. We got the Medicaid, finally pulled the plug in Colorado so we can get back on down here. I've got stuff going to the VA. And hopefully by the end of the month we should have a better idea of where we're standing and how things are, proceeding job-wise and otherwise.
Whether or not I have to take out another payday.
Yeah, we're trying to cut down on the payday loans, but yeah, we are making progress. We're going to be a little late again on at least just one storage unit this time instead of both. So that's progress, as pathetic as it is. All right, our topic today, though, there's some concern about it's kind of the old Canon debate of what is Canon. The answer that's whatever's on screen, really. But even that's debatable now between J.J. Trek and Discovery. That it's its own canon. You can't fit into the whole thing, without maintaining credibility. There's also, but the flip side, there's what is not canon. And you go for the obvious stuff, fan fiction stuff, but some of the authorized stuff, you really can't call canon. Case in point, the James Blish adaptations. There's one guy had a round around on one of the message boards. He considered the James Blish adaptations canon because they pull stuff from original scripts. Problem with that approach. They pulled stuff mainly from first or early draft scripts. Because remember, those books are being written as the shows are being shot. And oftentimes, the only scripts they had to give out was like early draft scripts. Anybody who knows anything about the really development of television in general, but this show in particular, early draft scripts oftentimes bore very little resemblance to the final draft. Key example, City on the Edge of Forever. That one changed radically. Trouble's changed quite a bit too. Not just the title, there's quite a bit in there. But several scenes got cut for money reasons or whatever. Sulu was prominent in that thing. He wasn't even there. He was busy. George was off shooting the Green Berets with John Wayne. So all those lines got sent to Chekhov with a little Russian flair to Washington Lynch. But a lot of little tidbits that were in early draft scripts that got cut for one reason or another, and a lot of times there's a reason why they were cut. No, this is not consistent. That's probably one of the reasons why Roddenberry hated the James Blish adaptations. He despised them, not the least, and also because they're under control over this. This is the studio's doing. They licensed it out, and then he found out kind of afterwards. But they're putting stuff in that they cut, and that's not in that episode. That shouldn't be in there. And they're informative to a point, as far as some original intent thing, and stuff of it has cropped into the Concordance before, like the Enterprise being like a 12 billion credit ship. That was apparently an early draft notation from Mirror Mirror. Uhura makes kind of a heck of a way to run a $12 billion starship, and yeah, it's useful to a point. But again, there's a lot of stuff, and also if using the Blish adaptations and you don't have those first draft scripts to go by, how do you know it's from a script or something the Blish made up on his own? Because he's done that, stuff. You try and fill a gap that may not even be there, but you fill in a throw it anyway. So I would really strongly advise, not just advise against it. Don't use the Blish adaptations as anything more than interesting trivia. Because I had a point thrown at me in one of these debates with this twit. And he kept citing things in Space Seed. Like, that's not in Space Seed. What the hell is he talking about? And finally, I tracked down, my own copies of some. I got the 4-volume reader thing, but I couldn't find it. So I had to go to a bookstore and dig it out. And it's like, okay, yeah, no. That's not there. And again, it is inconsistent with the rest of the history, so no, it's out.
Question.
Okay.
Did you not once say that Gene Roddenberry would probably consider Star Trek Continues canon?
Rod Roddenberry is of the opinion that he would consider Star Trek Continues as canon. As far as whatever Roddenberry had over at that point. But because I mean, it is consistent with everything. It honors what came before, but it's not pure fan wank stuff.
It also leads
it builds on it, but it doesn't contradict anything really. At least not openly.
Also leads right into the motion picture.
It leads directly into the motion picture. That last episode, the Enterprise under Androdic and has been beat to crap. There's why they so extensive refit. Yeah, that's why. There's big bites sticking out of the primary hull. I mean, Roddenberry had decided to figure in the novelization like 92 people died on Kirk's from start to finish of the 5-year mission. 20 of them in the last episode of the Star Trek Continues in one shot. Going toe to toe with the wrong on the vertebrae. I won't go into that, but yeah, that ship got put through the ringer. So yeah.
Oh, that was beyond putting.
So it was like even a simple repair job would consist of a total refit. So well, while we're at it, but yeah, novelizations, heavy grains of salt. The Blish adaptations, just dump the shaker in there at this point because you can't really go by any of it. Like I said, it's informative to a point, but only if you know it's coming from a script and not from Blish's own imagination. Because he was an award-winning author of his own right. He didn't have to do this crap. But yeah, the final say is what's on screen. Now, if one of these adaptation bits, if it doesn't contradict anything on screen, if it works with it, if it was something like they actually filmed and had to cut, that happened occasionally, then possibly it could be considered, at least quasi-canon. But a lot of the stuff, there's a lot of bits of dialogue where, no, that was completely changed. Though they didn't say that. There was someone else said that. Because there was also a lot of line shifting, and not all Shatner kidding everybody's lines. There was more nuance than that. There was I mean, truth be told, on that front, the brief aside, Nimoy and Kelly also did that, but also it wasn't just stealing all the lines themselves. They were giving lines to the other characters. No, and Shatner would be saying, no, Spock should be saying that. And Sulu, and mainly, why is all this here? It's slowing the plot up. That's where a lot of it was. It wasn't glory hogging on any of the guy's part. It was like, no, we only got a certain amount of time to tell a story here, and we got to get to it here. And yeah, sometimes it was like Nichelle Nichols was one of the one who would speak. Hey, goddamn it, Bill, you're stealing my lines. Like, oh, sorry. But like the early, I think even a final draft or close to final draft, the core might maneuver. Everyone was chiming in lines left and right, and even at the standard, the low ad rates of the day, that would have wound up like an hour and a half episode. Everyone chiming in and left and right, and it's like, who's going to make a decision here? Who's the captain? Like Kirk said in that line, I think it kind of sums up the whole thing of, well, the lines you got, I'll consider that, Mr. Bailey, when this becomes a democracy. Oh, and there's also, apparently Bailey was originally a communications officer. That's why he had the earpiece. That was a holdover from the early draft. Otherwise, why would the navigator have a communications earpiece in his ear? Oh, Coco. Coco? Say hi to me. Hey, Coco. Hey, dear. And there you go. Okay, let's take a quick peek here. Nobody I want to talk to. Okay. So.
And don't forget Harlow.
Well, Harlow's hiding over there somewhere.
Yeah, she's on the...
She's way over there. I don't know. Can we get her in there? Really can't. Hold on. I can't get her in there. What's up? Yeah. There's a cat over there somewhere. She's way over there. I think that's her.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
Harlow.
okay. Yeah. I don't know where the other one is. But yeah, and hopefully, during this process, when we finally get settled and I can really start doing serious work on this whole thing, this book, that I can maybe get a look at some scripts and I can start, helping piece together things. Now, I got PDFs of final draft stuff, but
And somewhere in storage,
but I would love to see some old early scripts, and hopefully BJ can come through on that one.
I have a script from Star Trek 3, I think it was.
Well, I've got some movie script. I got the script for 4. Picked up in Ipswich.
And the one I got was one of those ones put out by Premier Magazine.
Well, yeah, it's a mass market. I'm talking about just somebody, pirated script.
Oh.
Yeah.
No,
And if legend holds, the numbers scrawled on each page would probably match up with Roddenberry, because he did that a lot. There's his way of putting sticking his thumb in, and it's like they wouldn't listen to him. Okay, fine. Here's the script, guys. Have fun reading this before the movie comes out. Yeah, and there was a few lines in that one, which actually, in the standards of the day, it was during the Golden Gate Park scene, where the vertebrae starts landing, and one of the garbage guys lets out an F-bomb. It's like, under those standards of the day, that would have instantly given the Star Trek 4 a R rating. Because that's the way it was at that point. It's like one single, immediate R rating. There's no negotiating about it. And 80s. When did Temple of Doom come out?
I was thinking the mid-80s.
Well, I know it was 80s, but like after Star Trek 4, though. Right?
I think it was right before they instituted NC-17.
Well, it was because of that movie. And Steven Spielberg specifically, why the PG-13. Because he admitted, no, this isn't hard enough for an R really, but it is too hard for a PG. So he suggested, how about something in between, like a PG-13, Yeah. Cinema history right here, guys. But that's not just, it wasn't a reaction. It was specifically suggested by Spielberg for the PG-13 rating because of Temple of Doom.
I think Pretty in Pink was PG, but it still had like at least a couple F-bombs.
Well, a lot of it is how successfully a director can, argue things too, or the context of how clearly is it heard, and the context. It's weird. It's a bunch of grumpy old ladies in a room saying, "Oh, I don't like that."
Yeah, if I recall, motion picture was a G, but.
Well, because it was so boring, it was then offensive. People were sleeping through the thing.
Yeah, but.
Because note on that front, the director's edition of Star Trek Motion Picture. PG, it's PG now.
Yeah.
Nothing really changed that much. It's just a little tighter action, a little more tense, yeah.
Well,
but it's on the same movies, not PG.
A couple naughties.
What's that?
Bones and Kirk both said a couple naughties.
They did in the first one. Nothing's changed in that dialogue. No, that damn it, Bones, I need you. That's in the original cut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it still was a G.
And it's still a G, yeah.
Jeez.
Like working in a damn computer center. Yep, that was in there too.
Wow.
Man, who knows? Man, the ratings board, dozed off during that moment. Which also brings a belated congratulations to Kevin Smith, the only director to successfully argue back an NC-17 rating with the ratings board. 3 times. 3 of his movies were almost labeled NC-17. He had to lobby it back.
Yeah,
I think it was a couple of the View Askew one and Zach and Miri Make a Porno. They were going to make that NC-17 mainly because of the scene. There's a scene where they're shooting from underneath, and because the guys had a lot of coffee, he kind of craps right in the face of the camera.
Ew.
And that scene alone was going to get NC-17. But Kevin went in there. He walked. He did his own personal lobbying for it, and it referenced one of the Jackass movies, where Steve-O goes into like a Home Depot and sits on one of the toilets and takes a crap in the toilet. And they showed that, and that movie went out as an R. And then it's actual, honest to God, human feces, that thing, and the stuff that they made in Zack and Miri was pointing. Yes, you can eat my shit. It's a soup.
Also end up almost getting an NC-17.
Well, yeah, that was, but that kind of movie's like, who cares?
I mean, it had a Red Band trailer there.
Yeah. Well, you had that Red Band trailer. You're not going to get anything out of it. But Orgasmo's the kind of movie. It's like, yeah, that's what we're shooting for. Go for it. Even though the only real nudity is male asses all through the things. Just part of the whole tease of that movie. It's like through Ron Jeremy. It's him. What? Don't you like boobs? No, Ron, you don't get it. Okay, and then you finally say, okay, I get it, guys.
Yeah,
you're about to see Kylie Ireland or Julie Ashton, and some guy's hairy ass comes on the screen. It's like,
Sorry, I'm going off on a tangent.
Talk about prick tease. It's like, oh, you assholes. This thing's not monetized anyways, who cares? Okay. But if you're going like the you know the thumbnail, Canon, what is Canon? Yeah, this is don't trust the books, okay?
Hey, Jonesy.
I mean, even when Jerry Taylor wrote her Voyager novels, they were canon only so long as Jerry Taylor was an executive on the show. Once she was out of there, no.
Hello.
Bits of her backstory remained, but other than that, no. What happened in there in the mosaic? I mean, I think that they were gone. They did not count. Yeah, maybe fun reads, but beyond that, no. I mean, it was kind of when I think it was actually a tie-in when they right around the time the book came out. They had the little episode where Janeway meets her dead father, Admiral Paris, and there's little bits of her backstory mentioned in there, and that's in the novel, so it made it a little more interesting to watch it. But beyond that, no. And I still think they missed a big shot in having an actual reunion scene when Voyager got home at the end of Endgame. Would have been like 20 seconds of screen time. But have it don't just say them closing the Earth and roll credits. No, have them arrive and have them meet the families at the dock type of thing, and get, you could have gotten Katharine Hepburn to play Janeway's mom for about a 20-second cameo.
Freaking awesome.
It would have been, it would have been a lot of money to pay for 10 seconds of screen time, but it would have been worth it, And I think, I'm blanking on the name, but the gal who played Minuet in the episode, the Next Gen episode.
Carolyn McCormick.
Carolyn McCormick.
Only reason
She'd
I
have been
remember
perfect as Janeway's sister Phoebe, because they look enough like to be sisters.
Yeah,
Must
the
be an
only
Irish
reason
thing.
I remember the name is because she was on Spencer for Hire.
Yeah, she also had on one of the Law and Order shows. He was on Law and Order, so. And have Tom meet Admiral Paris at the dock. Let's have that scene. That's why that one kind of left the bit. You're cheating, wasting all this time with Tuvok going nuts in the future. That's the thing with Voyager. Is like there's so many things could have been tweaked just a little bit, and the episode's gone from okay, mediocre to damn, that's good. They had the potential right there. That was the frustrating thing with Voyager and Enterprise. So many things could have been so much better. Just another rewrite, another tweak in there, and snip out that stupid little subplot and change this. But in the canon, it's on screen. It's canon. Like it or not. And yes, that includes the animated series, which I've gone into before. It was only on the side for lines for legal reasons for a while. And some people decided to take that to mean that Roddenberry didn't like the animated series. No, he never told Bijo that. Never told her that any future concordance leave out TS doesn't count. No. And that 76th edition of the concordance sat on his desk as a reference throughout his time there. So it was only because Filmation was shutting down and they had legal issues to deal with. So it wasn't non-canon so much as just off limits. Just don't use it. We can't afford to pay Filmation a check right now. We're gonna wait until we fully own the whole thing. Then, as you saw with DS9, and references started kicking in. You had Core talking about his time on the Clothos. That's from Time Trap. You had Garrick talking about when he was posing as a gardener in the Romulan homeworld, and tending to some Edosian orchids. That's a reference to Lieutenant Eric's. He's an Edosian, or Edoan. So yeah, and there's a few things in Enterprise. Mainly with DePaul. Talking about Shikar, and of course the appearance of Lamacha, I'd say a lot, Even, I think the appearance of him, but yeah. Stuff started cropping in once Paramount secured the rights to TAS. Once the animateds are in there, now we can do it, now it's ours, go nuts, guys. And then the big clincher, I think, also, is one that they actually had this debate in the extras. David Jarrett, look, Gene Roddenberry's producer, Dorothy Fontaine is author. Writers from the original series, yet all the actors, most part, doing their parts in the series. It's canon. But the fact they had that on there, also the fact that it was released on CBS Home Video. May not sound like much, but every other Filmation DVD that's come out has been under Filmation, their own little label. So the fact that this one alone is on CBS, that means CBS owns it. It is canon. So I don't want to hear any more, but it didn't count, right? No, it counts. It is in there, it's staying. And there's enough references throughout the series now, in spin-off series, that yeah, it's like being kind of pregnant. No, you're in there. It's there, it's canon, live with it. And you say, well, it was too goofy. No goofy. And a lot of those episodes were actually planned for a 4th season of original series. So the only reason you're saying they look too goofy is because they're animated. If they'd been live action, they'd have been no stupider than anything they did during the original series, especially the 3rd season. I mean, Spock's brain is not that much better, I think, than the counterclock incident. And actually, there are some of the random series I would have loved to see in live action. But, they would have been budget busters. They'd have been expensive now. Never mind back then. But novels, or as Roddenberry's called them, those damn novels. At best, they'd be worth looking at and maybe filling a gap or two, but don't take it to the bank, okay? Even Roddenberry's own novelization of the Star Trek motion picture, I don't think he counted as canon. It's just like, here's my say on it. But beyond that, no. Because there's a lot of dialogue in there that didn't make it. Like there's a line where when V'ger's opening up, Uhura making a line. It looks like a maw. That's like, it's not a maw. It's because Kirk's afraid of visions of space monsters swallowing starships, getting other people's heads. No, don't even think that. But yeah, I mean, Roddenberry didn't even count his own. Actually, was also, I think, Alan Dean Foster probably goes with that anyway. But you don't think Roddenberry didn't go over that thing with a fine-tooth comb and make alterations to your high? You don't know Gene very well, do you? He ruined everything. It's not so much a glory hunter. He wanted to maintain everything was consistent with what he saw, and it's not that hard to do actually, because I did the same thing with the Doctor and the Enterprise. I might post a link down there to that one, but that would start off as just a little exercise in grammar correction here and there, and well, what I got was all ASCII format, so there's a lot of weird paragraph breaks. But it started off just fixing. I wanted to just get my own copies and put my own pictures in it, because the illustrations that came with it were kind of a little too cartoony. But that started, and then I noticed some typos here and there, and also correcting the paragraph breaks or something reasonable. But then also noticing she used, Gene used a lot, Gene Airy, a lot of passive verb tenses in there. He seemed to. No, we're going to change that to active tense, or he shot up. He didn't seem to run across the room. He ran across the room. That's the thing. And it's just kind of going from there. I know, Christine Chappell is actually in a scene, no lines. So at least gave her a line. That much to Majel. And they had Kirk kind of skittish around horses. Well, we know that's crap. So I had to change that around a bit, in reference to growing up in Iowa on the horses. And it became pretty extensive. And also, adding paragraph breaks during the fight scene with the Doctor and I forget the alien race, but that was interesting. That was a fun little project. And I know some different sectors got angry with me over it. How dare you change an author's words? But other people, a few people were interested. They wanted to see copies of it. And I realized, I approached the writing I get like Roddenberry, or just a producer, and getting the thing more in line with the show. And other people, view author's words as sacred writ. And it's like, no, you don't change an author's words without permission. It's kind of the Harlan Ellison view of things, as opposed to the Roddenberry. It's like, no. This doesn't fit. Also, other things didn't really fit with the Doctor either, I don't think. And the way Tom Baker's Doctor is sometimes, that's not him, no. And, it just got, I really want to change that into a radio play one of these days. See what we can do with that. Probably get, throw it by Vic Menu. Hey, can you get the gang back together and record some lines? Big question with that would be where to, because it would start off Star Trek, credits and music, and then out halfway through it suddenly transitioned to Doctor Who, music and credits. it can be fun. All right. Yes, we wandered far afield, but that's the way these things go. All right. So, PayPal, Patreon, Cafe Press, coffee down below, and a few other things here. And Coco. Hey, Coco. Come here. Can I say hello to folks? Here?
Can't really see her.
There you go. Yeah. Come on. Hey, look over here. Look over here, Coco. Come on. Did you miss us while we're out? Come on, go. Okay, fine. Not feeling photogenic today. All right. Links down below. Keep posting on what's going on. But yeah, these are things we need.
Oh.
We're in a better situation, but it's still not great.
And we might as well tell them about the possibility of getting some housing.
We might get, there's a possibility, but I don't want to go on possibilities right now because half the time they don't come out. But we're still, we're still in the hunt here. And if anybody has any pull with Entercom, Cox Media, or iHeartMedia in Florida, throw a few bones by me because I got apps with all three of them. And unfortunately, the way it's set up, you got to go through the corporate thing somewhere, God knows where, before it comes down to the local stations. And I can't even call them to badger them. But yeah, I got apps in, I got like 3 or 4 with Entercom just by itself because like 4 different openings.
Hi, Harlow.
But we shall see. Like I said, we're in a better situation, but it's still not ideal.
Yeah.
And it can be a hell of a lot better. Just a couple simple changes, and we're back in the business.
And considering how much we have to stay in Walmart's parking lot there.
Yeah, thankfully there's a real nice Walmart nearby here. It's a nice little treat area.
Yeah, but they're also bound to notice us pretty soon. So.
Well, there's a car's been out here. It's still out there. I think by the year stand, it's still there with the sunscreen up. So I don't think they really care that much out there. The car's out there. It's overnight. Plus, also it's 24-hour Walmart. So can't say we're there after hours.
They're pissing at each other.
Oh boy, the cats are again doing the dance that the people do. Okay, that's enough. We wandered too far. So PayPal, Patreon down below. Hopefully, also soon I'm trying to get out of the group to do some test builds of various models like round 2 stuff. So I'm trying to get on that little list and we will start doing something different besides me ranting about Star Trek and Discovery get off my lawn. So catch you later.